Hello, welcome to the stream. Let's get ready for the final episode of my tutorial on how to paint and draw Space Marines. Finally. All right. I think like we did last time, I think the best way to do it is that instead of me playing the episode on the stream screen, it's better that we watched it separately in our own browsers. And on the meanwhile, during the during the stream, I will be painting something. Well, I will be continuing what I started this past stream, which is nothing related with Space Marines, I'm afraid. But yeah, I'm a little. There's been too many Space Marines lately for me, even though it would fit very nicely with the theme. But what the hell? So I will be doing this female elf that I was that started this week, this last Tuesday. So yes. I will also make sure that I know exactly when it starts. All right. So if you were following the last stream this Tuesday, I was able to spend another half an hour with the character. So it's a little bit, I did a little bit more than what you saw when we left the stream. But yeah, still pretty basic and rough. And still trying to figure out the overall pose, and now I'm starting to consider more about the design of the character, because I'm kind of settled with the pose at this point. So it's more about figuring out what I want to do with the character. This specific character, by the way, this female elf is a great example of how I normally don't do any piece, which is with nothing in mind and just going ahead and just for the sake of it. And the reason why I have done it is precisely because I almost never do it, and it's great fun as well, even though it's not the most efficient way of doing things. And on that note, you will see on this final episode the demo about where I will be painting a full Space Marine character illustration. That is the best, in my opinion, from my own experience, of how to tackle any illustration and any type of design as well. So it's just working with purpose. So kind of the opposite of what I have done here. Even though you could argue that to some degree I had something in my mind already when I started, but now I have, I think this is what I have reached with that original idea, which was very vague. And now I'm at a point or crossroad where I'm clueless, and I need to kind of pause and figure out what I want to do and how to move forward. So that is why starting with a proper idea or at least some basic goals, it is, in my opinion, something quite good to do and very most time and cost efficient energy wise. Marina, hey, hello, welcome. So yes, So that's kind of where I am with this elf, right? It's like, all right, yeah, I wanted to have. I was mainly thinking about colors, so I wanted like warm colors. I wanted a redhead character and a woman, and wanted to do some sort of kind of fan- fantasy leaning, but not sure I want to do it that exactly. So it's a little bit all over the place. And now I'm, yeah, at this crossroad where I really don't know what to do. And I think I need to consider those options. Of course, I'm more than welcome to any suggestions. So please feel free to add or to write any suggestions. So yeah, but as I was saying, you will see that in this fourth and last episode, it's what I will be showing you is not only illustrating all the concepts and notions and subject that we have gone through on the previous episodes, but just this exact subject of how to get started and have some clear objectives and goals that you want to put into your canvas instead of just starting clueless of where you go. So I think it was interesting to point that out as a contrast between how I wouldn't recommend doing things, which is this character, and the way I think or that I would recommend doing things, which is the episode of the Space Marine. So yes. Um, so to begin with, is like, well, what could she be? I mean, first, do I want to make a fantasy character or not? I lean towards not really. Uh, Maybe some sort of mix of genres, but not but not totally sure. Uh, and of course, the one of the reasons why I don't think this is the most cost efficient way of doing things is like, yes, it can be enjoyable just in the sense of just enjoying the ride and see where it leads you, but it takes quite a long time and doing and redoing things cluelessly, right? And also, in terms of from a design point of view, is that instead of trying to tackle a design problem, trying to solve a problem, I will have to come up with a problem first in order to to make that design. Because if not, the problem with that is that you can end up with a design that might look nicely visually speaking, but it's kind of shallow and pointless. Um, so yes, and that's something that I normally don't like. I really enjoy looking at designs that have a purpose, regardless if they look good or not. And of course, if it looks good and it's appealing to the eye, then obviously that's a big extra, right? But in my opinion, I think design its first purpose is to solve a problem and not just going for merely aesthetic. Because at the end, this is not just about doing something that just look cool, but just making a character that feels credible, that has personality, that that gives a sense that this is a real person, right? That has a history, a life, that is a living character. And the only way to do that is just by giving it some background and context. And there it ties together with the design mindset, right? So it's just, at the end, it's about always having a solid foundation from which you start creating and building your design, which is exactly not what I have done with this character. That doesn't mean that you cannot do it, as a good proof is this character. You still can do it. It's going to take more time. And at the end, you will always get to a point where you need to just sit down and take your time and actually make the homework that you didn't do on the beginning, which is to, okay, decide who this character is, what is the context, what is her story, uh, why is she dressing this way or in another way, or why is she having this object or another one, right? So you need to build something and build the design to ask those questions. I hope it makes sense. Of course, you are more than welcome to ask questions. You are all very quiet. And also, I know I've been repeating it previously, but I'm very curious to hear your opinion about the previous episodes of the tutorial, or if you have any feedback as well, any constructive feedback, it's more than welcome. Oshada, hi, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. And well, now that we are at this point as well, I would like to remind you that I have a Patreon page. So if you want to support my work, um, please take a look at my Patreon and consider supporting me there. It will help me quite a lot, not only to create more content for YouTube, but also to develop my own personal project, which is very grim, dark, um, and and it's a science fiction universe driven by the theme of space pirates. So yes, please go and check my Patreon. Yes, I'm still very bad at doing this. I need more practice, but it is important to mention it. I mean, first of all, I don't know who. I mean, yeah, you see, that's what I'm struggling now. I'm at a point where, yeah, some of those very basic things that I had in my mind about the colors I wanted to go for, and the very very basic of, yeah, I just want to have a redhead female character. But now I'm like, okay, who is she? I mean, if she's some kind of yoga instructor or uh, uh, like, why is she dressing this way? You know, it's Hey, Andrea, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. All right, so it's um wait a second. When is it starting? All right, yeah, in 7 minutes. All right, all right. Hi, can I send you some work to check? Yes, of course. I cannot promise that I will be able to give you some feedback because I'm always super busy. I have tons of things to do. But yeah, I mean, the best that I would suggest you just to share it on my Discord channel and put it there. And yeah, that's the best I can suggest you to do. But again, I cannot promise to give any feedback. To be honest, I'm like overflooded with things to do. So, but I certainly enjoy watching what you people do as well. At the same time, I'm there on the Discord channel. There is one specific um, sorry, Discord server. One of the channels is about feedback. So there is very nice community there, and yeah. Andrea, I'm doing good, thanks. You? I just bought a Warhammer 40k Codex. So many amazing illustrations, but I can't see any credits for the illustrators. It's very sad. Yes. Yeah, it is very sad indeed. I have absolutely no idea why they have started doing this a while back. I think it's very, very wrong. I really do. I think it's very, very bad. It's not ethical. I don't think it is. They started. I cannot remember exactly when they started to do that, but it's definitely a very bad policy, and I feel very strongly about it. So, as I mentioned before, I will not be displaying the episode here um, on the stream display because yeah, I have all these kind of how do you say how are they called? Well, small stuff around here, and it kind of distracts and remove from the experience. So yeah, it's better that everybody just watch the episode on their own on a separate browser. Uh, I just dropped some water on my tablet. Fantastic. Wasn't much, so it's no problem. Yeah, I need to be careful with that. So what could she be? I wonder. And one of the things I wanted to do, like one of these very basic ideas I had on the very beginning was like, yeah, I wanted to have a character with very incredibly long hair. Don't ask me why. I just fell for it. But yeah, that's such a basic thing. So uh, now I need to figure out. Oh my goodness, again, this and oh, of course, yeah, and this. There you go. So in that way, it has certain fantasy feel to the character. Um, so I don't think I should just go completely away from the fantasy aspects. I mean, after all, it's some sort of elf, right? In certain way, I feel that she dressed in a very odd way. So I would need to come up with an idea to kind of explain that. All right, I think we are on the countdown, or yes. So half a minute for to start with the episode. So when it start, I will just shut up, so everybody can watch and listen the episode. So yeah, I will be watching and listening as well while I paint. And yeah, so I really hope that you enjoy and that you get something from it, something useful, and yeah, you might you can of course make questions along the way, and I would make the best to answer them, and I might comment along the way as well. All right, okay, enjoy. There you have the link to the server. Lobster, thanks. Yeah. Lobster, that's the thing. I have absolutely no idea. I'm trying to figure out if it's gonna be actually fantasy at all. So it's a very very good question, and I don't have an answer yet, which is an issue. I'm so relieved that now the whole tutorial is out and you can, all of you can enjoy it and watch it. So happy and relieved. Yeah, it's a great feeling, especially after the overall quite overwhelming, good um, reception. have to say I'm very, very pleased. So the things that I'm going through on the episode now, it's a, as I was explaining, it's exactly the type of thing that you should be doing as a high contrast to the aimless approach that I'm doing with this piece here. So this wrong, what I'm showing on the tutorial, right. Francesco, thanks and welcome to the stream, man. Thanks a lot. So most of the thing at the moment that I'm trying to do is just like barely anything. I'm just trying to think what I want to do with. What is the idea behind this character? That's why I'm not doing really much. So I'm just trying to do the homework that I should have done before even making a single brushstroke, right? But I'm starting to lean towards some sort of ritualistic type of duelist, like sword duelist or something like that. Uh, that, or she could be holding some sort of spear, perhaps. Maybe she's some sort of. I'm just thinking right now. Sort of great warrior, or something. But she is dressed in some sort of maybe not ritual. That maybe that's the wrong word, but some kind of fancy attire that it's just for some social event. Uh, it's more about showing her status than for fighting. Yeah, maybe it's something like that. Tasty, hello, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? We are all here watching the final episode here at the same time that we are painting something. Cool. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Very glad to hear that you are enjoying it. You are the best. Francesco, I'm new to the stream, but I'm really enjoying the Paint Space Marine tutorials. I was wondering if you have or plan to have some kind of mentorship art program in the near future. On top of that, do you have any premium tutorial I can purchase? And if so, where can I find them? Sorry for the long questions. Thank you very much. Well, thanks for joining and for the questions. That's kind of one of the main reasons for doing streams. So no, I have. I may in the future do something about mentorships, but not for now. I'm too busy at the moment to do something of that kind. And regarding purchasable tutorials, neither. I have some planned and on the way, but not at the moment. So I'm afraid not. But thanks for asking anyway. And yeah. I mean, if anything, I teach at CGMA, very um, intense and, in my opinion, very important subject, which is narrative on art. Well, in this case, applied to illustration. A subject that I'm hugely passionate about. And as far as I know, there is not a single course anywhere out there online mainly dedicated to it. And it's yeah, so that's the only thing that I can think of, but for now, like standalone tutorials like this one for the space mines, but no, I don't have any. But again, they are in the way, but who knows when I will be able to make them, because once again, I'm so super busy. But yeah. Have two out of my head at the moment. I have two tutorials in the making, but yeah, again, who knows when I will be able to finish them. One tutorial is about character design, and another tutorial is about illustration, about illustrating battle scenes. All right, Francesco. I hope that you are patient. I'm also thinking in terms of making certain theme of the forest. Yeah, which I still don't know what, but yeah, leaves and stuff like that. Just go with some of the elf tropes. Yeah, I'm kind of settled with the idea of some sort of what she's wearing at the moment. It's some sort of mm, costume or something for ceremonies or something like that. Um, yes. So if you appreciate the work that I do and you want to support my efforts, again, yeah, go and check my Patreon, please. Be more very much appreciated. All right, so that was the whole and final episode on how to paint and draw Space Marines. Just in case you are a little bit lost, since nothing is shown here on the streams, we've been just watching the whole episode separately. So yeah, I think that it's that's gonna be the end of the stream because I have plenty of things to do. So thanks a lot for joining in. It means a lot. I hope that you enjoyed the episode, that you most importantly find it interesting and useful on and get some insight into how and tips into how to create Space Marines. And yeah, as always, an absolute pleasure. If you are interested, we normally have our common date for streams, which is Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Central European Time. So yes, have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Thanks a lot once again for joining in to watch the last episode of the tutorial, and paint and draw a lot. Have fun with it. Stay safe, and see you on Tuesday. Take care. Bye bye.